Welcome back to the next video. In this video, we are going to discuss functions which return pointers. Now we know that functions return integers, functions return characters, functions return float. For example, function returning an integer is like this: int a. This is a function, some body here. So this a is a function which is returning an integer value. This is called as return type of a function. This is the name of the function, right? And we have parameters here. We'll have parameters here in the bracket. So this a is returning an integer value. So similarly, we can have functions which can return pointers. Now what do we mean by functions which return pointers? So functions which return pointers will return the memory address of the variable. Right now, for example, how will we declare the function which is returning a pointer? So same here, we have name of the function. These two brackets are for the function. Here we can have parameters in these two brackets. So when this function returns a pointer, we'll put a star before the name of this function. So star function is name of the function. That means this function will return a pointer of integer type. This function will return a pointer of integer type. In other words, this function will return an address of the integer type variable. Right? So this function is returning a integer pointer or memory address of integer type variable. So let's see this. This is the declaration of the function called as prototype of the function. So definition of the function is written here. So let's see main function. In main, we have an integer type pointer here, p. P is an integer type pointer. So 8 bytes are allocated for p from 2000 to 2007. So we can store integer type memory address here in p. Right? So let us call this function now. Function we have called. This function will return the integer type memory address, integer type variables memory address, and that will store in p. So let's see what function is doing, what this function is doing. So we are here in function. So we have declared one integer type variable I and assigned value 10 here. So this is what will happen after this line, right, in memory. So then now we want to return the address of this integer type variable. That's the only thing we want to do here. We want to just demonstrate how the function can return the pointer or the memory address of variable. So this is a function returning integer type variables memory address. So we have an integer type variable here I. We want to return the memory address of I. So how will I get the memory address of I? By saying and I. So this and I will give me 3000, which is the memory address of I. So I will simply return that, return and I. So from here I am returning 3000, which is memory address of this I. So this will be replaced by 3000 and that 3000 will be assigned to p. That means this is what will happen in memory. So we have a pointer here. P is a pointer capable of storing integer type variables memory address. We got one from this function, right, and we assign it to p. Now when we print this p is nothing but this p variable, this p pointer, and this p is nothing but the format specifier for the pointers, right? So this will print 3000 because p is the value of p is 3000, which is the memory address. To print the memory address we need %p, right? And how will I print the value of I by using p here? So I'll use the dereference operator, and this will say that value at address which is in p. So what is the address in p? 3000. What is the value at address 3000? 10. So this will give me 10. So I can access I, which is declared in other function, by using a pointer here. So this will print 10. So this is how functions can return pointers. Functions returning pointers is nothing but a function returning memory address of some variable. If this function returns memory address of float variable, this will become float, right? So this time this function will be able to return only the memory address of float type variable. If you write char here, this function will return the memory address of a character type variable only, right? So this is the type of the variable whose memory address we are going to return from this function, right? So this is it for this video. Stay tuned. Thank you.